Coach, it was a really gritty win for you guys. It felt like the physicality definitely picked up toward the end. How important was it to make sure that the guys kept their heads level and didn't make sure it didn't get out of control?
We talked about it. It was after the second period. It got a little bit messy on the ice, and then said, "Stop yelling at the referees. It's not going to change anything. Just focus on what we need to do." I thought after the 2 periods, we did a really good job, even strength. Like those back-to-back power plays that we killed in the second period, I think took a little starch out of us, but that we responded well. And then it was funny in the third period, we get up and they scored a couple of minutes later, and then the last 10 minutes, they seemed to pick up some momentum, and we bent, but we didn't break, and I thought Doster was really good in the net again.
What did you like about obviously you shortened the bench kind of toward the end, but the fourth line brought a lot of energy and physicality at some points throughout the game.
Yeah, they were terrific. I mean, after 2 periods, I think they won every one of their shifts, and then hockey got a little bit dinged up in the third period, so they didn't have a centerman, so that's why it went down to 3 lines. But that line's been consistently a catalyst for just positive energy and winning shifts, and I got to a point where I was just putting them out the ice with whoever, because hockey was doing well in the draws, and I think they just keep it simple. They put it in deep, they finish checks, and they get the puck back.
Not long ago, we were talking about Frankie keep shooting the puck. I mean, he's having so many near misses. Now there's something to fall for him. I heard Troy just say that he's a fun guy to be around, not that he's scoring. Just talking about his turnaround production-wise and the timing of it with Leo as well.
I felt Frankie was going to score eventually. I mean, he's a scorer, and those guys, they go through dry spells. He went through last year, I think he was at 29. He didn't score for like 8 or 9 or 10 games, and it doesn't matter, how many games you don't score in. It's. I just believe when you score goals, you have a history of doing it. You're eventually going to get rewarded, and that's what he's in right now.
Drew Helison looked really strong tonight on the breakouts and retrieving pucks. Was this his best game of the season so far?
I think he's been really good every game. I don't know how you're going to qualify his best game, but I thought he was terrific. And you can see the little, you noted it, he's really poised on the breakout. He's got the confidence to shield pucks, wait, find the open stick, and move it. And he's getting more and more confidence offensively. You can see him move into the play at the offensive blue line. He's got poise. He tries to find shooting lanes. Again, to me, he's a reflection of the culture of this organization, how we're trying to build the team from the grassroots up, and he's one of those young kids that played his time in the AHL, and Matt and his staff did a great job with him, and he just continues to move forward confidently and impress us.
Over the last week, there's been a lot of different types of games, but they've all had a similarity in a quick goal, kind of equalizing or derailing in some of the losses. What did you see tonight where they didn't lose that train of play, as they scored early in the third?
Well, we got the first one right, so we were up, and then they got that one, tie it up, and then the good thing is the bench is starting to talk about keep it simple, get it deep. There's more communication going on. I think that's a reflection of some of the veterans being more comfortable, just giving out direction to the players, because we got so many young guys, and when you hear that as a coach, it means that they kind of get it and they know what we need to do, and it becomes less of the coaching staff and more of the leadership.
What did you see on their second goal? It seemed like you had one deep pinching and one going for a change. Couldn't see the other.
Okay. Well, Lundy was trying to make a spin pass over to Helison, who would have had a breakaway, and Dumoulin was up into the play, and then Helly was changing. It was kind of like the goal we gave up on the breakaway. I don't know if it was Buffalo or Seattle. It was a very eerily similar play.
The Zucker goal, yeah.
Yeah.
The penalty kill, you let up the one on the 5-on-3, but they've been so good in recent games. What has been working on that penalty kill unit?
I think Brent Thompson's done a great job just communicating what their, basically call it route discipline, what your job is, and and when you have the discipline to do your job in the PK, particularly where teams are doing diamonds, I think it makes everybody's job easy, and then it puts the onus on the defenseman to figure out where the 2-on-1 might be at the goal line. So I'm not going to get to the mechanics of it, but I think that's been spelled out really clearly, and he's added some aggressiveness to it, which is push people further away from our net. And I think our forecheck and our clears have been way better.
Troy's on a 4-game point streak with assists, but how good was it to see him rewarded with the goal in the shootout?
Oh, he's been terrific. You know, and the funny thing is his game is getting better because he's keeping it simple. That whole line kind of plays like a fourth line with skill. They don't turn a lot of pucks over. They put pucks deep. They generate a lot of chances off the cycles when they do get it deep. And then when they get their opportunities on the rush, they're so skilled they get scoring chances off the rush. So they keep playing like that. They're all going to get a bunch of points this year.
We talked about Troy last year, carrying the puck a little less, getting off it quicker, and he kind of made that transformation. 2 halves of the season for him last year. In this first quarter, Mark, what are you seeing out of him as far as any changes in his approach or his assertiveness or whatever maybe that's leading to the success?
Well, I think he's done a nice job. He's got a relationship with Tim Yami, who's been around a long time and coached some great players. And I think they've kind of developed a relationship where he's getting a steady diet of, you know, and a healthy diet of, you know, when to move it forward and when not to move it forward, to recognize when there's an opportunity to use your creativity at the offensive blue line and when not to. So I think it's like anything, we've talked about this over the last year in 20 some odd games. It's a process, and some guys pick it up quickly and some guys don't. And I think that Timmy's done a really good job just, you know, gaining his trust and saying, here's what we need you to do. You know, let's look at the tape. And I think that's given Troy some confidence and trust that he can get pucks back if he just dumps them in.
Jackson gets the goal tonight. And all of his goals have come from right in that crease area, activating off the blue line. It felt like maybe that's something that you guys didn't really have a lot of last season.
No, he's been terrific. You know, he turned the corner of, I don't know what it was, like 7 or 8 games ago, and you know, our D have been getting up in the play, and Helison's contributed. And I've talked about this in the past. If your defensemen are involved offensively, it's probably a good sign for your team, and I think that's, again, been a catalyst behind our success over the last 10 games, whatever it's been.
The defense